Good morning. This is the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Monday, February 21st. Taking a look at precipitation over the past 7 days on the left, we had quite a bit across our southern areas and as well as parts of the mountains of central Idaho, kind of a bit of a donut hole of lighter precip here in the central portion of the Great Basin, the exception being along the Sierra front, which got pounded with heavy amounts of snow. On the right-hand side, you can see the percent of normal, our driest area over the week. Again, the northern parts of Nevada, Utah, and up to the Snake River Plain of Idaho, and much wetter than normal in the south and across the far west. Snowfall over the past 72 hours on the left-hand side. You can see widespread light to moderate amounts, 3 to 6 inches, some pockets of heavier amounts across much of Nevada. Still lingering amounts across the Sierra front, and moderate to locally heavy amounts of snow, 6 to 12 inches or more across the higher terrain of Utah into parts of western Wyoming and the mountains of central Idaho. Snow cover on the ground, you can see deepest here in the 40 to 50 inch range across the higher terrain of Idaho and western Wyoming. Somewhat lesser amounts, maybe 20 to 30 inches across the higher terrain of the Wasatch, as well as across the higher terrain of Nevada. Sierra front got walloped with snow, and their snow depths quite a bit deeper, 50 inches or more. Percent of water equivalent on the snowpack, it's come up dramatically across the Sierra front now, around 75% of normal. Still lingering, only about 60% of normal, or just a little bit more on average, across the higher terrain of Utah. And what really stands out here is no area across the Great Basin from Idaho and western Wyoming onwards, or very few areas in the west, have anything that's above normal. It's all a certain percentage of below normal, and we'll see how long that trend continues through the winter. Looking at some of our fuel models on the 100-hour scale, the driest, where we've been dry here across central portions of Utah and parts of Nevada, eastern Nevada, over the past 7 days. 1,000-hour heavier fuels, driest in the south, where some of that recent precipitation really hasn't had a chance to fully sink in. Satellite imagery shows deep trough low pressure off the west coast, some mid to upper level moisture already streaming into southern areas as well as into Utah with increasing clouds. It's a combination of this moisture and this low dropping down that'll produce another storm for the midweek period across much of the Great Basin. Further out to the east, this deep low over the mid-Atlantic states producing blizzard conditions here across the northeast in the headline news. Drought conditions also taking a quick peek. You can see we continue with the exceptional drought across much of Utah and eastern Nevada, Arizona Strip, and extreme to severe drought in many other areas of the Great Basin. So again, something we'll be watching to see if there's any relief before the truly dry weather starts by late spring onwards. So for today, on the left-hand side, here's the upper level map, deep trough with moisture in the Pacific Northwest, another plume of subtropical moisture pushing into our southern areas. Good southwest flow, so dispersion overall not too bad overall, limited only by cloud cover. We see areas in purple. Transport winds on the left picking up. We see the orange and brownish to purple shades. Lighter transport winds further east in those light purple shades. Mixing heights best across Nevada, a couple of thousand feet above ground level. Meanwhile, the dark purples here across Utah, parts of western Wyoming is where the inversions will probably linger throughout much of the day. Now on Tuesday, there's that approaching storm system with clouds and some precip probably pushing into parts of Idaho. A lot more white on the map here, so where we see better overall dispersion. The transport winds will be picking up here on the left-hand side from west to east. Still lightest across southeast Utah. Mixing heights really improving across Nevada. Starting to get a little bit better across Utah, especially western Utah and southern areas. Now on Wednesday, this storm system from central portions of Nevada and Utah on northwards, probably seeing some light to moderate precipitation, and much of it in the form of snow. You can see excellent overall dispersion. That's a combination of strong transport winds and excellent mixing heights here on the right-hand side. 3-day precipitation totals, again, the best across the higher terrain of Idaho, western Wyoming, and Utah, where you see those shades of blue, 1/2 inch to 1 inch of precipitation. That should easily translate to 5 to 10 inches of snowfall, if not some locally higher amounts. Also some Snowfall significant across parts of the Sierra front. Now, afterwards, it looks like we'll start drying out. Big high pressure building in on Thursday off the west coast. Northerly flows, so cold air pushing in. And you can see the ventilation index on the right-hand side, that more of a northerly to northeast flow. Excellent overall dispersion still, areas in the white. You see that pattern continuing on for Friday. And then Saturday, again, not much change. High pressure starts building on in. We start seeing some decreasing dispersion across Nevada, still pretty good further east. And then on Sunday, that high starts breaking down. There's a storm system that pushes across the northern Rockies, may increase winds, but we should stay dry overall. This is precipitation from Thursday evening through Saturday evening. Still some lingering stuff across higher terrain of northern Utah into western Wyoming, and we dry out as we go through the weekend into early next week. The 8 to 14-day outlook, colder than normal, especially for the north, for much of the country, actually. Near normal to slightly drier than normal precipitation across the Great Basin, as far as we can tell right now. But there's quite a bit of model uncertainty that far out. This concludes our briefing. Next one coming up Wednesday. Have a good day.